So,
You know, coincidentally, condoms have a 100% success rate among people who don't have sex.
exactly. Yes. And you know, it should be pointed out that the effectiveness of condoms when used correctly and consistently is quite high, rivals the pill,
Right.
which of course the abstinence-only people will not tell students. And
Of course, and you know, the rate of people who wind up saying, "Oops, I forgot I was supposed to be abstinent,"
yeah,
is a lot higher than the people who screw up condom use.
yeah, because if you're not abstinent, you can always ask Jesus to forgive you.
True.
You know, because you're just human. Right? Okay. So anyway, why is this relevant? Well, because, you know, the State Board of Education fight that we just went through with the social studies curriculum, the next subject on the list for the State Board of Education to take on is the health curriculum, which includes birth control. And of course, Texas is one of the states that really hammers on that abstinence-only message. It's been a disaster for this state. Texas has, I think have slipped behind Mississippi as the second highest rate of teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
But I think we're still holding on to our status as the #1 state for repeat births to teenage mothers. So,
We're #1.
yeah. And of course, the population that this hurts the most, aside from obviously girls, it's primarily minorities who really have enough of an uphill battle already without being saddled with the responsibilities of parenthood at an early age. So we have quite a fight on our hands, and so it's important for people out there to know where the abstinence-only people get these numbers. They're not real, they're not correct. And actually, Guttmacher Institute has some real numbers. They actually do this research. So if you want the real deal, go to Guttmacher Institute. And that's pretty much what I have for the topic today, unless you want to...
That was short.
Yeah,
Well, actually, we do have callers already.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, well, I've got an update from the studio that the Pride Festival is Saturday, June 5th. That is next week, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the ACA will have a presence there throughout the day. So
Okay.
That's that information. All right, so we're going to start on Jim in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Hi.
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 Yeah, my question for you is, you know, I guess I don't believe in any religion. I believe they're all, you know, a load of crap. But it just seems to me I can't imagine a way we could have this gigantic, infinitely old universe without having come from somewhere or something.
Well, which is it? Somewhere or something? Or
Well, I don't know.
did you have someone in mind?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
What makes you think the universe is infinitely old?
Well, I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, let's say, for example, the universe is 1 billion years old. What happened?
It's
What
more
was
than
there
that.
before
Actually,
that? Was there
I mean,
nothing there?
You ought to get the science straight for starters. The Big
Yeah.
Bang happened about 14.5 billion years
Right.
ago.
Well, I'm just saying.
13.
I'm just picking a number. Even if you say a trillion year, 14, whatever time number you want to use, there was time before that time.
Well,
Not exactly.
we don't know.
There is some actual science surrounding this stuff, which you ought to look up. But the bottom line that you ought to know is that the history of the universe as we know it basically goes back to about, oh shoot, I'm blanking on the number right now, but it's a very, very small fraction of a second after the Big Bang happened. It's called the Planck time. It's something like 10 to the minus 42 seconds. Does that sound right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I usually have that number on the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I haven't got it right. The reason that the history of the universe that we know only goes back that far is because when you collapse all that matter into such a very small, very dense amount of space, the laws of physics that we're aware of don't work the same way anymore. And so the problem is that it's difficult to investigate anything that happened before that instant in time. But that doesn't mean that we've said anything about what happened at that point. There are a whole lot of different competing theories about what happened before that moment of the Big Bang. And they're more like hypotheses because, as I said, we can't really test them. I mean, some of the things that people have thought up are, it could be that the matter in the universe is infinitely old, but it keeps going through a series of oscillations, expanding and contracting again and forming another Big Bang. There's another interesting theory that says that basically every universe is actually formed from a black hole in another universe, or there's a meta universe which continues to exist and is spawning new universes all the time. The point is not that we've said for sure that that time does a particular thing before the Big Bang, but that all we can really say at this point is we don't know. And it would make no sense and also be irresponsible to make up something like, oh, so from that we can conclude that there's an infinitely old being who dreams up universes. Because then, of course, you'd get into the same problem of where did that thing come from?
Okay, well, yeah, I guess, I'm not a physics expert, obviously.
Right.
But, it just seems to me, I guess it's the argument that, how can something, come from nothing? All this matter that you have in the universe, where does it come from? And, I guess, maybe we're in agreement here. I'm not sure, but it seems to me that it had to come from somewhere, and whether you want to call that God or the universe or...
Well, I mean, why would you call it God? What are the properties of a God?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea.
So how can you conclude a God
really,
did
I
it?
mean, the problem with calling it God is it kind of muddies the issue right from the start, because when you say God, people have a lot of people have a very specific thing in mind. If it turns out that God is just like another universe, to take one of the examples I said, then why would you call it God instead of, universe N or whatever?
Well, I suppose you could.
Right.
It just seems to me strange that we would have this universe, and it just kind of came from nowhere and didn't, doesn't
Right.
have anything to do.
But nobody says it came from nowhere exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think it came from nowhere?
Well, no, I'm not. I don't think it came from nowhere. I think it came from something.
That something
but
was the singularity.
Okay, well, where'd the singularity come from?
Well, we don't
know. A lot of different competing hypotheses.
Yeah.
There are a lot of reasons why some are favored over others.
Okay, I mean,
we're
guess
not.
Is it possible that there was some supreme intelligence that is
Sure,
transcendent that created it?
Well, I mean, anything is possible, but why would we consider that even the slightest bit plausible when the idea of a supreme intelligence is every bit as problematic, if not a lot more so, because intelligence is so complicated to begin with, as just. I mean, if this supreme intelligence always existed from nowhere without having been created, then why are we bothered by the idea of a universe doing that?
Well, because the universe, because this other thing would have made the universe. I guess
but
my
what
problem
made
is
it?
the universe.
But where did it come
Yeah.
from?
Well, I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
That's all I'm saying. There's a certain point at which you say, I don't know. But some people feel like they need to make up a bunch of other stuff before that step of saying, I don't know,
Yeah.
in order to make themselves comfortable with the answer.
Well, no, I don't believe that, no. I do believe in science, I guess you should.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, there is a lot more science and philosophy that talks about this stuff. It may not be as conclusive as you like, but I think that you would benefit a lot from reading more about the stuff.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Lee Smolin, I think, is the one with the recursive universe theory, which I think is the coolest one, even if it's not necessarily true.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's interesting. Actually,
well, to me, whether it's, you know, the universe started with the Big Bang or you've got oscillating universes coming in and out, it really doesn't matter.